Chelsea 1, Everton nil. Chelsea do the business at Stamford Bridge, and believe it or not, Robert Sánchez awarded Man of the Match. Welcome back to FFB, amigos. And today we're talking about this interesting game that we played today at Stamford Bridge. Let's start with the lineup. As soon as they came out, I'm never excited to see Robert Sánchez, to be honest with you. But today, you know what? He did a good job. He did a good job. We'll get into it during the game. And another thing that I liked about the lineup was to see Lavia back. I really hope he's a player that can stay fit. We saw today that having him in the lineup, when he and Caicedo on the team, we actually have power in midfield. Very strong recovery, and they're both playing out quickly. Upon recovery, they play out the ball really quickly, and today we saw that. The one thing I don't like, which is okay for this game, but I'm terrified of Maresca because he plays the goalkeeper as a nine, the nine as a right back. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I mean. Is that they'll get a little carried away and excited, which they did last time. Remember, we played Caicedo as a right back for a game. He did really well. Then we tried it again and it failed. You don't play the best players in the world out of position. You shouldn't play many players or any players at all, but certainly the best ones, absolutely not. And I've always said 1,000 times, I like his press higher up in the field depending on the game. However, in this game against the low block and having Lavia back to handle transition in the middle, okay. And it seems to have paid off for a little bit. But that was kind of my notes. And then I thought it was a really strong team that we fielded. We had Sancho out, but we had Madueke playing on the left hand side, which was really interesting. Pedro Neto on the field, as well as Cole Palmer and Jackson Fernandez. So a really really strong team. Cole, which had a very good game on the back with Chalobah, like I said, Caicedo on the right, and Cucurella on the left. So it was a really strong team, a really strong showing, and it played really well. Now, I was really interested to see Madueke playing on a different wing. You and me, the one viewer that I have, we know that Madueke is left-footed. So my first thought was he's gonna play open wide and not really cut in as much, which is what you would expect, and put in a lot of crosses. And I'm like, well, that's not a good idea because we're not good at winning those crosses, especially coming from the left. Because ironically, one of the ones that win those crosses is Cucurella, which is on the left, coming in late. But they didn't do that, and I think it was good that we didn't put that many high crosses in, and we actually played some low crosses. And Madueke very surprisingly cut into his right foot, and he took on two great shots during the match. So really happy to see that versatility. Oh, and another note, I see Maresca is not on the field, and this is tragic to say. I'm so fed up with that guy, man. I was happy to not see him there. I was just happy. I was just happy, happy that he wasn't on the field. Uh, I'll do a separate video. I'm gonna do like a news week announcing busy. But again, his comments in the press conference, I want to slap him. But fine, whatever. Let's not get into that on this video. But happy to see he wasn't on the bench. And in the 27th minute, Chalobah does a great recovery and plays out quick. Um, Everton are not positioned correctly. Really poor defending. I've seen this in some matches sometimes against the low blocks. That's why we are called to play sometimes a long ball or a direct ball. Because when they decide to press a little bit, the center backs tend to be a little bit open wide, and if you play one or two direct balls down the middle, it's a risky pass, but you find them. But as soon as Chalobah does this great recovery on Everton, he very quickly plays into Enzo Fernandez, who very quickly turns around. It was just straight through the middle and plays the ball to Jackson, which, gosh, what a finish. What a finish. What a shot. We really need that. We really needed that. We missed that. He turns around, smacks it down to the low post. 1-0 Chelsea, and game on. Of course, the concern is, and it was very valid, is can we score another? I felt we needed, because that's the way it's been this season. To be okay, Chelsea need two, sometimes three goals. But we had a bit of a better defensive display. But I think that's down to some tactics. Moyes was highly conservative. That girl came in a little bit earlier than he expected. And we saw it in the second half, which we'll discuss. When he did his three changes, the game dynamics shifted because in the first half, Chelsea was really dominating the game. And we didn't have this passive possession. I want to say it's about Maresca not being at the bench. It probably doesn't make any sense, but that's what brings me joy. Um, so we had this possession, but we were a little bit more aggressive with the passes. As always, Caicedo having an amazing game, prompt recoveries, flipping. The one that's struggling is Mole Palmer. Well, Cole Palmer. But as you guys have been hearing me lately, Mole Palmer is playing in his stead over these games. Is his lookalike cousin who just isn't as sharp. But we'll get into that as well. And that the very beginning of the first half we're just dominating. Towards the end we're dropping a little bit, and I feel we needed the two goals, as I said. Now, Ndiaye, what a horrible game. I don't know if you guys saw, he was substituted immediately, I believe at halftime, and it was much needed. Charlie Alcaraz, el Argentino, comes in to play for him because, man, Caicedo had his number. I think it was a tactical error. He was playing on Caicedo's side, but he was not keeping the width of the pitch. He was more centralized, like sitting in the worst area that you can sit, where, because we know you could kill Chelsea on transitions, but you got to do it wide. He was sitting in the inside channel, which is the only space that we cover efficiently because that's where our inverted right back goes, and is the inside channel of our 10 that could provide some shadow coverage. So that was just dumb to place him there, or more than likely he was dipping into that space against the Moises' instruction, and that's why he was pulled off. Who knows? But he was having a horrible game. Caicedo owned his ass all game. It was embarrassing. So he actually had to be taken out. So the first half overall was great. We were a little bit more aggressive with our possession. And like I said, Ndiaye goes out, necessary substitution. And at the 62nd minute comes one of two majestic. Yes, I said it. Robert Sánchez saves, man. He kept us in the game. The fact that we can't score more and that we're a little vulnerable in the back really calls on just the kind of performance that we need from a keeper. Well, we need it, okay, not every match, but 9 out of 10 matches. Today, I think that performance saved us and kept us in the race, which I think is a race we're probably not going to win for top four, certainly five, maybe. Still unlikely. But those, we know when they say goalkeepers are worth, a good goalkeeper is worth anywhere between 9 to 11 points a season. That's an example today. That performance guaranteed Chelsea don't tie, giving us 2 extra points, and that's a reality. So good on you, buddy. I still don't love him and want him to be the keeper, but it was a great performance, and he should not be denied when he does well. And then in the 63rd minute, Moyes makes three changes, and the game changes completely. They take control of the game after that. Well, I wouldn't say they take control, but they come out and Chelsea lose control. They lose this aggressive possession. They didn't make the best out of it. And my note there is Cole Palmer was just straight up poor. And my question is, why is he not being subbed? Nicholas Jackson is obviously tired, which, by the way, he found himself 3 feet offside on a goal that he scored that day was not accepted. That's not adequate. That's not acceptable from a nine to be 3 feet offside when someone's taking a shot from outside the box, precisely because the rebound might come. So that's a little shocking still. And he was caught offside, I think, another time. Little things he still needs to polish. But in any case, he gave us the goal today. But Palmer was really poor, man. And I'm thinking he needs to be pulled. And then that's the kind of stuff Maresca I don't get. He brings in Sancho. Okay, you want to bring in Sancho. I can only assume because when you want to see out the game, which is a little terrifying to have that attitude, but okay. Because we got lucky, man. If Sancho didn't have those world class saves, this attitude of trying to see out the game with possession, bringing in Sancho would have been a terrible idea. However, I get it. But why would you pull Madueke? I don't understand, amigos. You tell me. Why would you pull Madueke when he was the one that was playing probably the best at that time? He was very aggressive. The one to take off was Palmer. And I'm sorry, Papi. Mo Palmer is not at the level. He needs to be replaced and is replaceable, and that's okay, man. He may even, benefit from the rest, getting some rest, but definitely he needs to be going. And why is Tyreek George not earlier on the field? It's another cruelty, if you ask me. The young man does well. He should get a shot. And normally it should have been for Jackson too, because his legs are gone. And you would say, no, Jackson, we need him in the field because he's got this amazing press and all this. But so does Tyreek George, and he's coming in fresh, legs, young, hungry. He was going to press really hard. So I don't think that would have been a loss. Again, I'm not in the bald man's head. I don't know what he was thinking and what he was doing. But anyway, again, Palmer and Jackson should have been out. And then on the 87th minute, an even more important one, Sanchez does an amazing save again to keep us in the match. I find it very satisfying to see him have a good performance. I'm not happy with the game all around, to be honest. Chelsea fans were not that. We're a little scared to be excited right now, as you guys know, but we did the business. I think the Champions League slots are out of our control, and they've been, I don't know, since 4 or 5 matches ago, to be honest, but certainly in the last two. It's kind of slipped out of our hands. We depend on others. Let's see how the results go in the next couple weeks. But very exciting end. There was nothing to see here today except for those 60 minutes where we had the possession, but we were a little bit more incisive. We're definitely going to need that. And I think that's down to player mentality. They brought it today. We got the toughest of matches coming up next. Very excited. I will be doing a match preview for that. And obviously the reactions. So for now, Chelsea fans and Chelsea players, as always, come on, you Blues.